Hey guys, and welcome back to another chapter of Can I Kiss You? Sorry, I've been a little AFK lately. I was sick for a little while, but I'm better now. Let's go ahead and hop right into it. It was written by me, Stacey Holt. Artwork was by ccerealbowl. I'll leave their links below. And for my voice actors, Titaniumkitten will be voicing Nathaniel, Kumo will be voicing Marc, and I'll be voicing Adrien, Cat Noir, Marinette, and Ladybug. Now, Chapter 10.
What am I going to do?
Nathaniel sighed.
What do you mean?
Marc asked. Nathaniel had driven over to Marc's house to tell him about what had happened at Marinette's earlier that day.
She basically rejected me. I feel like such a loser.
Nathaniel sighed, sitting down beside Marc.
Well, you can't help how she feels. What did you tell her exactly?
He asked.
I told her I still had a crush on her. She had Cat Noir in her bedroom when I showed up. I thought he was about to say that they were dating, but she said they weren't. I don't know if I believe that, though.
He said, thinking.
Cat Noir? The superhero? Why would he be in her bedroom?
Marc asked, confused.
I'm not sure. Whatever's going on, I need to find out. Superheroes don't just sit in people's bedrooms and help with designs.
Nathaniel sighed, knowing he was lied to.
That does sound rather strange.
Marc said, trying to comfort his friend.
Okay, hear me out. Either Marinette and Cat Noir are dating, or...
Nathaniel began.
You're not implying...
Marc said, wide-eyed.
Marinette could be Ladybug, and Cat Noir knows she's Ladybug. They could be meeting up and discussing hero stuff. Who knows?
Nathaniel said.
Don't you think we would have caught on sooner if Marinette was Ladybug, though?
Marc said, a little unconvinced.
Why don't we keep our eyes on her then? We can find out for ourselves.
Nathaniel smiled.
Are you doing this because she rejected you, or because you're jealous she could actually be dating Cat Noir?
Marc asked.
Neither. I'm just curious to know why. Why she's lying to me. To us. To all of us. Why would she lie to her friends?
Nathaniel said.
I guess...
Come on, Marc. Don't you want to know who Ladybug is?
Nathaniel insisted.
Are you sure that you aren't the one that wants to know?
Marc said.
Fine. Come on. We've been friends for 2 years now. We've been making Ladybug comics ever since we met. Don't you want to at least see if she is or not?
Nathaniel sighed.
All right.
Marc said, finally giving in. Nathaniel smiled like he had won a victory while Marc smiled back nervously. Though after a few seconds, Marc rolled his eyes and followed Nathaniel against his better judgment.
I still think we shouldn't be doing this, Nate. What if we get caught?
Marc said wearily.
There's no possible way we'll get caught if we stay a safe distance from the bakery and watch the activity circulating inside.
Nathaniel said, trying to reassure his friend.
I'll text you the plan tonight for tomorrow.
Just like that, they were secretly following Marinette around. Everywhere she went, they were there. Well, except the bathroom or inside her house, though they were still close by monitoring. Marc had grown tired after a couple of hours of basically stalking, as he didn't feel comfortable doing it in the first place.
Nathaniel, I don't think we're going to see anything. I really don't think she's Ladybug.
Marc protested, pulling his knees to his chest as he wrapped his arms around them.
Just a few more hours, please.
Nathaniel begged. Marc sighed and nodded, seeing his friend's eyes light up.
3 hours. After that, I'm done. Okay?
Marc sighed. Though their plan didn't last long as Marinette turned around confronting them. Why are you both following me? She crossed her arms.
Following you? We're not following you. We're just going this way too.
Nathaniel smiled. You are following me. You've been doing it for the past 6 hours. She sighed.
I've been trying to find things you like because I want to buy you something and, try to, ask you out again.
Nathaniel's face was full of guilt. His nervousness was all over his face. His response took her by surprise. This was the last thing she would have suspected. She shot him down not too long ago, but he was persistent. Or, at least that's what she thought. I'm sorry, but like I told you last time, I'm dating someone, she politely declined. Marinette turned around, walking away from both of them. She walked until someone stepped out in front of her, causing her to bump into them. She looked up and saw it was Adrien. Her face turned red, more out of embarrassment than anything. Adrien, I'm so sorry. I didn't see. It's okay, Marinette. What did those two want? Adrien asked, looking at Nathaniel and Marc, who were still watching them. Nathaniel wanted to ask me out? What did you say? He asked, now turning his attention to her. Was he jealous? He never took an interest in her personal life until now. The thought made her a little irritated, but she brushed it off regardless. I told them I like him as a friend. Which was true. She didn't want to mention a boyfriend to him, as it would only lead to him wanting to know who. It was more simple to just leave it at that. It was a little weird. He was so curious and seemed a little pushy. She would admit, Nathaniel and Marc can be a little much, but he seemed like he was angry. That didn't make sense though, right? Nothing else? He asked. No? She said, confused. Why was he so interested? This was beginning to get really weird. I have to get home now. I'll text you about the project in a couple of hours. She smiled, turning and walking past him. As Marinette turned the corner, Adrien stood there for a few seconds. He glared at both Nathaniel and Marc, wondering what they were up to. Whatever it was, he was going to get to the bottom of it. Adrien turned and left, leaving the two boys to their whispering. Marc sighed, seeing that Adrien had left.
See? We're going to get caught. Now Adrien is catching on. We need to stop.
Marc begged.
Forget about Adrien. Did you hear what Marinette said?
Nathaniel smiled.
Which part?
She was dating someone. She didn't say who. What if it is Cat Noir? What if it's Adrien?
Nathaniel continued.
Okay, stop. We need to stop.
Marc said.
We can't stop now. One more night. We're going to catch her. I can feel it.
Nathaniel smiled, pulling out his notebook and showing his friend the contents within. Marc looked down at the sketchbook, seeing that there was a secret plan within it, one that showed them hiding in a few bushes near the bakery. Though a vibration took their attention away from the sketch, however, it was an Kumo alert.
This is our chance. Let's go!
Nathaniel smiled, stuffing his sketchbook and phone into his backpack. Before Marc could argue, Nathaniel started running in the direction that Marinette had gone. Nathaniel ran and ran until he saw her a little bit farther in front of him. He slowly made his way closer, watching carefully, making sure he wouldn't be seen. Before he could see anything, something flopped down in front of him, causing him to stumble backward. As he looked up, he was met with Cat Noir looking down at him. His facial expression didn't seem good, to say the least. Nathaniel swallowed, feeling the pressure of the superhero looking down at him. What do you think you're doing? He asked, almost like he had found a toddler getting into trouble. The sudden commotion caught a few people's attention, including Marinette. She turned and walked toward Nathaniel and her boyfriend, who looked to be angry or upset about something. This wasn't like him. Something was wrong. Hey, what's going on? Marinette interjected, pushing past both of them. This creep has been stalking you, Cat Noir growled. Stalking? Are you sure? That's going a little far. He's my classmate. We're doing a project together. Marinette smiled nervously. No, he has. I've been around and I've seen this creep doing it quite often. Cat Noir glared.
I'm not stalking.
Nathaniel pouted, avoiding eye contact as much as possible. See, there's no problem. Shouldn't you go fight the Akuma superhero Cat Noir? Marinette smiled, putting her hand on his arm, hopefully helping him get the message.